This is the first day after the incredibly divisive speech that I still cannot believe a sitting United States president delivered yesterday. I went back and I watched it again, and I'd even picked up some other things that were in there, but when the actual text of the plan comes out, we're going to have to compare it against the speech that Biden delivered, because those words still hold power, because you can already see them taking effect everywhere, and I don't know what to do. I do know what to do. I know what I can't vocalize it on here, but I know what I'm willing to do. We'll just leave it at that. And as you can see, off the back of that speech, without the six-prong plan, man, already being out there in text form, France is banning non-essential travel for unvaccinated Americans. So this is just going to be the first domino to fall, right? You expect France to be doing something this overreaching and progressive. Just see how Macron's handling a whole bunch of things. I think they were the first European state or European country, whatever, fucking one of the New World Order proxy states to drop vaccine passports. And yes, it's encouraging to see the hundreds of thousands of people that are out there in the streets on a fucking consistent basis out on the weekends, but it doesn't seem to be doing fuck all. So yeah, it's going to start in France, and it's going to go everywhere else. They were just waiting for the first domino to drop, and that was Biden rambling through his fucking speech, which he couldn't properly articulate even from the first sentence. But hey, make sure you get all those little socialist dog whistles out there. I was listening. Americans not vaccinated against the China virus will no longer be allowed to visit France for non-essential travel. Starting next week, as European nation announces new travel restrictions for the United States and Israel. Wow, what do they have in common? According to French government decree that was issued on September 9th. The new rules will go into effect at midnight on September 12th. Wow, that's awfully quick, but when they're telling you they're going into lockdown because there's, just such a surge in cases that are coming, we're just going to make sure that we're going to impose it in a couple of days. We'll give you till the end of the week. So I don't know, is that just enough time for people to fucking leave the country, I guess, because we're just trying to take this we're just trying to take this divide globally? Seems to be the case. When the United States and Israel will be removed from the green list and downgraded to the orange list. Oh my god, orange country's bad. The downgrade means Americans and Israeli tourists who choose not to get vaccinated against the commie virus are no longer able to visit France on non-essential travel. However, tourists from both nations who are able to provide an essential reason as to why they are allowed to present if they are presenting a negative COVID-19 test and quarantined for 7 days upon arrival. Let's just say, hypothetically, you don't have the coof, you aren't vaccinated, you're not allowed in the country, but even if you do have the poke, you still got to quarantine for 7 days because vaccines are safe and effective. Okay, cool. But it's not all bad news. Florida's ban on school masks mandates reinstated. Okay? You can still wear your mask in school. That's totally fine. But in Florida, nobody's going to tell you what you have to do. And we'll circle back around to Florida here by the end of this segment. But, dude, these fucking battle lines are being drawn state by state, attorney general by attorney general. And this is just one fucking day after. And tomorrow we have the 20th anniversary of 9/11, which... I seen something, but I don't want to hop the queue with any of the coverage out there. But just as a little heads up, as of right now, Biden's planning on not addressing the nation. You fucking believe? 20th anniversary, huh? Oh, he's traveling between the 3 monument sites, so he doesn't have time to deliver an address that Trump did every fucking year, or that every sitting president has since the tragedy happened, dude. That just escapes logic for me, and it you guys know I'm Canadian, but that bothers me a lot. Somebody who fucking campaigns on tragedy and we worry about domestic extremists, and then you don't even have the common courtesy to go down at the trade center. Whatever, what a different topic, but same fucking cocksucker. Somebody I can at least be appreciative of. Governor Ron DeSantis' ban on school mask mandates is back in effect after an appeals court ruled in his favor for the governor on Friday. Yeah, exactly. Maybe they looked at the CDC's evidence and realized, that judge, John Cooper, didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. The First District Court of Appeals, a state's court, agreed to grant an emergency motion filed by DeSantis' administration on late Wednesday. The appeal was filed after the circuit court judge, John Cooper, blocked the school mask mandate. Yeah, we went over that extensively, but the appeals court judge said Friday that he has serious doubts about the stay that Cooper vacated. You don't say, citing concerns about standing, jurisdiction, and other threshold manners. Yup, instead of just going with feelings over facts, this judge here decided he might do something like the opposite, something that judges should be doing. These doubts significantly militate against the likelihood of the appellee's ultimate success in this appeal. Given the presumption against vaccinating an automatic stay, the stay should have been left in place pending appellate review. Accordingly, we grant the appellate's motion, quash the trial court's order vacating the automatic stay, and reinstate the stay. And stay the stay, because staying stays is something you do while you lay by the bay. What do you say? I just may. We could eat some hay. What do you say? But speaking of schools and first domino to fall, yeah, the Los Angeles Unified School District just voted unanimously, by the way, to mandate all students over the age of 12 to get the jab. Are you waking up yet? This is not about the virus. This is about compliance, okay? You've seen those smooth brain idiots out there. Like, they got their NPC updates a couple days ago. Oh, you needed certain vaccinations to get into school. Those were totally voluntary, by the way, so I don't know what you're talking about, and those were for actually deadly diseases with long-lasting effects. Don't give me any of that long COVID shit. You're just trying to play the victim card for as long as you can. Remember, I've been around 3 people, okay, on a consistent basis that have had the coof, that have recovered from the coof, have all gotten the jab. I had it in November. I've gotten over it. I have no adverse long-term effects. Long COVID, go fuck yourself. Trying to compare a fucking vaccine to like a polio vaccine, which I don't remember. I don't recall any breakthrough polio cases on that, but hey, you know what, my understanding of medical history is a little bit spotty. You better refer to the science. The LAUSD Board of Education voted 7-0 on September 9th to require students over the age of 12 to receive the COVID-19 vaccination in order to attend in-person classes in the Los Angeles Unified School District. Students with qualified and approved exemptions under LAUSD's existing immunization policies are exempt from vaccination requirements, according to the district. Now they're bossing around children. Today's decision furthers our long-standing commitment to ensure the safety of our students, families, and staff. Board President Kelly try not to be one of those guys today, but you know what? Hey, always seems like it's a swinging pair of tits with these fucking tyrannical edicts, right? Don't see a through line here? The vaccine is the single best way to protect students and schools from COVID-19. If you keep saying it, I don't know who you're trying to convince here. Maybe it's yourself at this point. These fucking Democrats, dude. The single best way to protect students and schools, yeah, whatever. The Los Angeles Unified is committed to meeting our families where they are not providing them reliable medical information about this safe, effective... That's hilarious that you have to go ahead and once again reassure that it is safe and effective. Okay. That's normally what you have to do when you're confident in your stance, continuing to tell people that it's what you want them to believe it is, and nothing else. Don't look at anything else. But hey, Dem's gonna dem right, but it's not just gonna stay there. This is happening. Why did you think Ron DeSantis had to fight the fucking ban on mask mandates? Because these cocksuckers, man, they pop up fucking everywhere. And those mandates, they're coming to a school district near you, and trust me. But what are the unions doing about this stuff? Well, Newark and their firefighters and police unions demand negotiation on vaccine mandate. So they'd be hit by that vaccine mandate because obviously there's more than 100 firefighters and police officers there, and they receive federal funding anyways. So obviously they'd get hit by this mandate, you know. Firefighters and police unions in Newark, New Jersey held a rally on Wednesday to demand the city government negotiate with them the change in the work conditions due to the vaccine mandate imposed by the mayor. More than 100 people demonstrated in Newark against the forced vaccination ordered by holding signs, shouting slogans, and marching outside around City Hall. Mayor of Newark, Raz Barka, issued an executive order in August requiring all municipal employees, including police and firefighters, to be fully vaccinated against COVID or face termination, according to New Jersey News Network. Let's just see. I've got a feeling who Raz Barka is, but let's just see their political affiliation. Oh, he's a Democrat? You don't say. I'm fucking shocked by that, guys. Aren't you? Employees who are not fully vaccinated are given 30 days to provide their proof of vaccination and undergo weekly testing at their expense for 30 days. Yeah, but don't worry, you're going to be given time off paid for by the government in just more overreaching and overarching measures that are just making the country more and more socialist as the days go on because, hey, Joe Biden's just, making sure that he's looking after the economy, right? And we need to go ahead and check that one because I think that was prong 4 or 5 that's sticking in your ass right now if you're a small business owner and need to have the means and methods to safely reopen your business. The amount of times that creepy old fucker decided that he was just going to whip out that whisper, it's unsettling. It's unsettling at the same rate as he likes to talk about kids as well. So enough. If he wants to say that his patience is wearing thin, well, I got some for you here, pal. But yeah, no, just to finish up that thought, Biden said he was going to be offering a bunch of low interest, long-term, small loans for business owners they can pay back. And how is that not fucking collectivizing the means of production? Literally, you're just putting them in debt in order to reopen their businesses in order for them to fit your ever-changing and never really properly nailed down regulations for them to open up their business. Instead of just letting them open up their business, you're actually putting people in debt. You're just loan sharking at this point. But I made mention to this, and I'm not too sure when, but I might as well just bring it up for posterity's sake. I recorded a whole bunch of videos yesterday. Can't quite pinpoint any single one of them. The United States Postal Service not covered by Biden's COVID-19 mandate. I wonder why. Wonder why they would do that. It's not like there's a big recall or anything coming up, and you need to make sure that those mail-in ballots get there on time, right? Cool. The United States Postal Service is not one of the agencies compelled to require COVID-19 vaccination under President Joe Biden's new executive order. They were talking about it. I remember the Post Office Carriers Union, one of the unions out there, was saying, yeah, we're going to think twice about that mandate. But if it's written in the executive order that they don't have to do it, okay, that's a little bit interesting. COVID-19 vaccination requirements included in the White House executive order on September 9th, 2021 for federal employees do not apply to the Postal Service. Why? A spokesperson for the USPS told the Epoch Times. Regarding other vaccination rules expected to be issued by the federal government, the Postal Service has no comment until those rules are issued and we have a chance to review them. It is essential that federal employees take all available steps to protect themselves and avoid spreading COVID-19 to their coworkers and members of the public, Biden said in the order. Yeah. Okay, so what's the benefits of getting the vaccine now at this point? Lessens your symptoms? Okay, cool. So does taking care of yourself, eating right and losing some weight and not being a fucking diabetic land whale. That also helps too. Why don't you mandate that? Because you think that you can just fucking rule like some kind of a dementia-riddled king and you can just wish things into existence and people do whatever you want. And when they don't, you just try to create a second class of society. So now it's going to bite you in your withered old ass. You know what? Hey, God, let's just get her. She's just atrocious. Let's just get her off the screen for a minute because the RNC announces plans to sue Biden over the vaccine mandate. Hey, you might as well put some of that money that you used campaigning off of trying to help Trump with the different election lawsuits that were out there, and none of that money actually went to Trump, but you guys sure campaigned with his likeness, you know what, so you might as well put some of that money to work, maybe, kind of, you'd think. Fuck the RNC. On September 10th, announced its plans to sue Joe Biden's administration over the vaccine mandate. It comes just one day after the president issued sweeping new federal vaccine requirements that could affect as many as 100 million Americans, which the administration hopes curbs the surging Delta variant. You remember that these tests, right, can't distinguish which variant you have, by the way. The only way that you can tell what variant you have or the one that you've been infected with is in a lab. So How do we even know at this point? But okay, taking to Twitter. Oh, cool. This is where all the fucking business goes down, you worthless sack. RNC chairwoman Ronna Romney. Never forget, she's the niece. Joe Biden told Americans he was elected and he would not impose vaccine mandates. I already beat you to it. He lied. When his decree goes into effect, the RNC will sue the administration to protect Americans and their liberties. I'm sure he will, and it'll be super effective. I would much rather see the 19 governors and 2 attorney generals who are actually going to take this up to the Supreme Court and fucking get it figured out. Like I said, I think that this will probably fail in the courts, but the fact that they're even trying this kind of shit, because it's basically just Biden's orders, his plan is not really rooted in anything except for the whole nebulous appeal to the science. And he thinks that just because he's saying it, because there were many times in that speech, he's like, I got the authority to do this. That's not what a leader does. You don't have to fucking flex your muscle. You should be able to negotiate. You should be able to influence. You shouldn't have to say, I'm the boss. It's my rules. This is how we do it. That's just bad leadership. And well, I don't think I'm breaking any new ground here by saying Joe Biden's a bad leader, okay? He might be a useful advisor. He might be a decent secretary for something. Secretary of blocks and playpens. Secretary of personal hygiene, whatever shampoo gives off the best aroma. Maybe he's great for that, but a number one or a number two, that was never his strong suit. But another fucking 3.5 years. Oh, my God. More than a dozen governors and 2 attorney generals late on September 9th issued statements defying Biden's administration's impending vaccine mandates for federal workers and private sector workers. That's what it is. You've seen some smooth brains out there saying, oh, well, if you don't get the vaccine, there's an option to get weekly testing, so that doesn't make it a mandate at all. Are you fucking retarded? Are you retarded? Oh, okay. You either have to do this one thing that we say, otherwise, you got to do this other thing that we say, which is even more intrusive. But yeah, no, it's not they're not quite yet at the point where they're just holding you down. Just wait for the camps to show up. But this is where, well, the division really starts to come in. Because, yeah, after those attorney generals and those governors, who we should actually go through the list there. I got a little bit ahead of myself. Just know that, since we were there. Fucked up a little bit, but that's all right. We can recover nicely. Biden advisor says administration will run over GOP governors who resist vaccine mandates. This is what they're thinking at this point. They think that they really do have the moral high ground on this one, or that they're entitled to just lord over you like they are some kind of fucking deified figures at this point. Where do they get off on this stuff? Well, just because their sycophantic base has effectively replaced God with government. So more on that in a moment. White House senior advisor Cedric Richmond said President Biden is willing to run over any Republican governors who attempt to fight back against federal vaccine mandates. Yes, doesn't sound like you're heading towards civil conflict at all now, does it? After Biden unveiled a new plan, one thing I admire about the president is the fact that we are always going to put people above politics. What? I'm sorry, what? What? Forcing people to do stuff. You're putting people above. Okay, cool. Yeah, right. So this is the caliber of person we're dealing with. And we're going to fight for those who really need our help. No, you're not. You're going to fight the people who really need your help. There's no for here. Richmond, a former Democrat congressman, you don't say, from Louisiana, said in response to a question about governors resisting the mandate. And those governors that stand in the way, I think it's very clear from the president's tone today. It was very clear from the president's tone today, that's for sure, that he will run them over. And it is important. It's not the political purpose. It's to save the lives of the American people. And so we won't let 1 or 2 individuals stand in the way. Like, you got 21 so far. We will always err on the side of protecting the American people. Well, it's not your purview. And the fact that he's going to be running people over, it's Biden. I've seen him drive before. Now, if this was a Kennedy, after about a fifth of whiskey, I'd be a little bit more leery. But we'll go back to outlining who exactly Biden is drawing the battle lines with so far. 19 governors. That can't be overstated that is a significant portion of the population. And that's just like right now, okay? Just wait until the rest of these sissy bitches fucking hop on. So right now you got Arizona. Okay, so Doug Ducey must have woke up on the right side of the bed. Like his wife's boyfriend must have been a little quieter last night, so he got a decent sleep. Alabama. That bitch got her head out of her ass. That's good. Alaska, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Iowa, Missouri, Mississippi, Montana, Nebraska, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, and Wyoming. The usual suspects. What the new breakaway country is going to look like. Secession is starting to look like the only reasonable outcome on this. They were joined by at least 2 state attorney generals as of that night. Sean Reyes of Utah, that dude is based all hell and back, so I totally agree with this, and totally expected it as well. And Todd Rokita from Indiana. I think he was helping out on some different lawsuits as well, so he's a good egg as well. Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson, the chair of the National Governors Association. Oh, after Cuomo got thrown out, the guy who's actually, term limited and was like 90 years old ended up taking over that, weird National Governors Association. You guys are strange. I fully support continued efforts to increase vaccination rates across our nation, but the federal government mandates on private businesses are not the right answer. So it's all right if they lord over public officials, but when it comes to private okay, all right. I'm glad you're on the way out, and I'm glad Sarah Huckabee Sanders is going to be taking over for you. Couldn't be happier. I've been consistent in freedom of business to require their employees to be vaccinated. I hate you. I hate you so much. And I have opposed the government from saying businesses cannot exercise that freedom. Oh, I'm so glad you're gone. I'm so glad you're gone. The same principle should protect the private sector from government overreach that requires them to vaccinate all employees. We could break that down, but my head hurts so bad from all of this fucking nonsense. Multiple Republican governors, including from Arizona, Georgia, and South Dakota, hinted they'll announce they should seek legal avenues to resist the mandates. COVID-19 vaccines are safe and effective tools to prevent the disease. Considering who this is coming from, him saying effective tools is very apropos. But getting the vaccine is and should be a choice. Arizona Governor Doug Ducey. I agree with half of that statement. These mandates are outrageous. Fair enough. They will never stand up in court, and we must push back. Somebody's got to file the lawsuit. That's why, I don't know. Okay, you know what? Biden holding back on all of these executive orders, the 6-pronged plan, holding back all the text, waiting to sign all this stuff. He's just trying to see how many more people he can push, how many people he can just get to bend the knee before he has to drop the hammer, okay? Because he still has the postal employees out there, okay? One of the unions were pushing back, and he's like, okay, fine, man, don't worry about it. We need to get our mail and stuff through rain or sleet or snow, right? Come on, it's all very important. But yeah, nothing's in writing yet, but this is the type of shit that's happening, okay? Mississippi nurses, it's like there are good nurses out there. And some of them are just like the teachers that are out there. They're just there to collect a paycheck, not do anything else, and then just think that having scrubs on somehow makes you a hero, but then they just they do as much practicing of medicine as they do practicing the pop lock for their TikTok videos. If you got a God complex like that, just, you know what, hey, I went to school with a bunch of nurses, and I've seen the copious amount of poison they put into their system through their nose or their mouth, or in some cases other orifices as well. So you're not exactly dealing with the best and brightest. Of course, I do have extended family that are also nurses as well, and I hold them in high regard, or as much as you can, with somebody who you kind of sort of know and probably haven't really seen in like 15 years, but they're nurses, and that's good for them. And hey, there are plenty of good healthcare workers out there. I've had way too much experience with seeing some of them, not myself, but family matters. There are good people out there, and they're the ones that have to deal with this kind of stuff. If they don't come out and they don't propagandize everything that's going on, that's greatly appreciated. Like that doctor who is from Oklahoma, who said that people were overdosing on ivermectin to a point that ICU rooms and emergency rooms were overflowing with hillbillies who were taking the fucking horse dewormer, whatever, to the point where gunshot victims couldn't even get a bed. Oh my God, it was so terrible. But that doctor didn't work at the hospital. He was claimed was overwhelmed and didn't live close to it at all in Rolling Stone, because hey, they just continued to run with that. But it was one of the talking points that Biden used. People using different methods, and we don't like that. It's causing an overflow. And people with serious like cancer, they can't get their treatment. The people that are on the ground, the ones who are actually dealing with the stuff firsthand, some of them, have this weird thing called free will and freedom that they like to exercise. So if they've been infected, that sucks. You take your time off and you recover from it appropriately. as you do with every other illness ever. Like, this is not anything new. It's like washing your hands. It's like, okay, who wasn't washing their hands before? Cover your mouth when you sneeze or cough. It's like, this is basic shit that people should have and were doing before the pandemic. But hey, because somebody got a fucking runny nose somewhere, that didn't mean we had to lock up every fucking business. But hey, at least the big businesses are still around. The big corporations are still around who employ over 100 employees. So hey, don't worry about it. You had your little shop closed down. Don't worry, you can go get a similar position at a big conglomerate. Oh, what's that? Now we're starting to mandate all of those big businesses? Yeah. Crony capitalism. But I've had this story up here long enough and just gone on way too many tangents. But Mississippi nurses report a toxic work culture growing between vaccinated and unvaccinated. Don't think that's just going to stay in Mississippi or just between nurses. That's going to be everywhere. Just think about your work environment. Okay, you might live in a relatively based area of the country or the province or the state, wherever you live, and a majority of the people that you work with don't care about this shit. Like a vast majority of people, okay? They don't really care that much. They don't want to politicize this shit, but it is, so you have to deal with it as such. But there's going to be those few Karens that populate your workspace, and guess what? They have the institutional power. You might have the numbers. You might have the apathetic majority that's out there who doesn't care. And you might have as many people that are just vehemently against the vaccine that work in your same place. And guess what? The Human Resources Department, they're going to be siding with those fucking mask Karens that constantly make you pull up your mask. Pull up your mask. What are you doing in here? You shouldn't be in here. You're unvaccinated. Get away from me. 6 feet. All of those fucking insufferable little petty tyrants that think that they have the moral high ground and they now have authority because, hey, I'm just trying to help out everybody else and you're not doing your part. We're in this together. That's what happens. They brainwashed the extremes on both sides, and everybody in the middle who's like, either it's your choice or they're apathetic about the process. They're trying to pair everybody off at this point. And just because it's happened in one nurse in Jackson, Mississippi, who requested to remain anonymous, mostly because she's just kind of a coward, okay, honestly. Or I don't know, there's male nurses out there. Yeah, and there's also male purses as well. Because honestly, if you think that you're just staying quiet at this point, you're just trying to keep your head down. Oh, I have kids. I have bills that need to be paid. Well, so do everybody else, and they're getting their fucking heads whacked off. And what are you teaching your kids, really? Just to be a coward and not stand up for anything that you believe in? Because, I got to make sure that things get paid. Think about things in the long term, you fucking sissies. Just needed to throw that in there. Thought it was important. That faced the vaccine mandate at her hospital. She quit and took another job, paying $16 an hour more, and another healthcare system that hadn't implemented the mandate. Based. So she stood up for what she believed in, took another job at a better place, and got rewarded for her risk. That's cool. However, President Joe Biden's announcement on Thursday, the nurse said even at her new job, her days could be limited. Potentially. He said it's not a matter of if, but when. Biden's mandate also applies to private companies. Yeah, we know that. It's not about freedom or personal choice, said the President of the United States. It's not about freedom. My job is to keep people safe. No, it's not. For the nurse, it began December 2020 when the vaccine was offered to staff and she declined. Then we had a financial incentive, but eventually it became a mandate. So I keep telling everybody, okay, because right now in Alberta, we're going through get the jab and get a gift card for $100. I've seen it happen everywhere else, and then they just drop a mandate on you one day. So hopefully that day is far off into the future. But yeah, no, she can see what's going on, okay? It comes right from the top. Biden with his fucking atrocious speech and the little petty tyrants that are out there. Like this motherfucker, okay, national broadcast, okay, MSNBC guest calls for drone strike on Americans opposed to vaccine mandates. How many more months do we have to wait until we see if there's going to be a full-blown conflict? When do you think it's going to happen? Frank Schaeffer, a recent guest on MSNBC, deemed those who oppose to coronavirus vaccine or mandates bioterrorists and suggested that they should be treated as such. Boy. Anti-vaccine and anti-mask, anti-science, conspiracy theorists spreading... Wow, could you find any more pejoratives? Leading activists are bioterrorists, period. The author of Why I Am an Atheist Who Believes in God. An atheist, huh? Believe in God. Well, now you're gonna meet him. It should be treated as such. Drone strikes on selected worst offender podcasters. Anyone? Oh, this is like directly taking a shot at Joe Rogan. Okay, because they're so stupid they think that he's actually anti-vaccine, which I don't think has ever been his stance, but they think it is. Because they believe the science. They believe their prophets in the media, and they've totally converted to the religion of government, of the Democrats. Joe Biden is their prophet at the moment, and they all pray to the blue ass in the sky, because tearing down of religion, tearing down of traditional values has been taking place for the past 60 years, and now it's all come to fruition. I'm going to send you guys home with this little chart here, okay? Oh, it's got 10 points on here. You got number 1, classification. People are divided into us and them. Oh, okay. Number 2, symbolization. People are forced to identify themselves. Okay. Number 3, discrimination. People begin to face systemic discrimination. Dehumanization. Number 4, people equated with animals, vermin, or diseases. Oh, this is starting to sound a little ominous, don't you think? Organization. The government creates specific groups, police, military, different organizations, to enforce the policies. Okay, what are we getting at here? Polarization. Number 6. The government broadcasts propaganda to turn the populace against the group. Okay. Number 7. Preparation. Official action to remove and relocate people. Camps in Australia. Okay. Number 8, persecution. Beginning of murderers. Theft of property. Trial massacres. Number 9, extermination. Wholesale elimination of the group. It is extermination. It is not murder because those people are not considered human. A war on the unvaccinated. Number 10, denial. The government denies it has ever committed any crime. What are these? Do you guys know what this is? You might know what this is. I've made reference to it a bunch lately because I think it is awfully prescient. These are the 10 steps towards genocide. I think we're ramping up for 0.7. I think we're at 6. I think that turning point just happened last night, and I'm not going to stop banging on about it because I'm not going down without a fight. Because it's just about the coof right now. But one of the parting messages on Biden's speech yesterday was, we're setting all this stuff up for the next pandemic when it does happen. It's not going to stop with this. This has never been about controlling the virus, okay? Locking down businesses, putting on a mask, showing your papers to just enter regular life. This was about something bigger. This was about control. This is about ultimate authority. This is being so scared of Orange Man that you're never going to allow it to happen again because you have all the levers of control right now. And you're not going to stop until that is guaranteed for the future. I pray we don't get to 7, but I fear Australia's already there. Unfortunately, this is the kickoff to your weekend and couldn't be more morose, but tomorrow is going to be much more uplifting, the 20th anniversary of 9/11. So, yeah, hopefully we'll find a way to work in some lighter topics. I seen an update on the most popular story on my channel, but I got a whole bunch of stuff that I want to cover, so we'll eventually get around to it. With that said, guys, enjoy your weekend. I've been Don Consuelo. Thank you very much for your time. I want you to get out there, follow your gut, get after it. Take care, everyone.